Hello everybody, my name is Dr. Amir Sandhu and I'm a Senior Lecturer in Exercise Rehabilitation at Bangor University UK. Now in today's video I'm going to give you 5 tips to help you lose weight and maintain that weight loss over time. So let's get straight into it. The first tip that I'm giving you is to reduce your energy intake in a given day. That can be achieved by having smaller portion sizes. So at every meal, try to gradually reduce the amount that you're actually eating, and this will have a very good effect on reducing your total calorie intake. Also, eat when you're actually hungry. We often get into this bad habit of eating at set times, even when we might not necessarily be hungry. So listen to the body. When you feel those hunger pangs, that's when it's time to eat. Also, consider intermittent fasting. Now, several scientific research studies have shown that if you fast on about 2 days per week and you restrict your calories to about 500 kilocalories for that day, then that has been shown to really contribute to weight loss, particularly weight that's deposited around our abdominal organs, the so-called visceral fat, which is harmful for our health and increases the risk of heart disease. So intermittent fasting is an effective way to try and bring your calorie count down over the day and during the week. So tip number 2, consider, if you haven't already, incorporating the Mediterranean diet into your routine. Now, the Mediterranean diet has been shown by research studies to reduce the risk of heart attacks and strokes. It also has a positive effect in terms of lowering blood pressure as well. And essentially it involves increasing the amount of fruit and vegetables that you have, so at least 4 to 5 times per day, making sure that you have nuts and seeds like sunflower seeds, hazelnuts, almonds, etc. Making sure that you include legumes. Lentils and pulses are examples of such food. Incorporating fish at least 2 to 3 times per week, and then obviously low-fat dairy products like Greek yogurt are excellent to accompany your foods. And then using extra virgin olive oil, which has got the more healthy type of fats within it. Now, in terms of the Mediterranean diet, if you incorporate that into your eating plan, then it helps you avoid processed foods, which often contain high amounts of salt and high amounts of fat. So essentially you're getting rid of these kind of convenience foods and you're replacing it with a diet which has been shown scientifically to reduce your risk of heart disease and also prevent you from gaining weight. So my third tip is to reduce sugary drinks. Now, we don't often think about sugary drinks making us fat, but whenever we consume a sugary drink, the increased sugar or glucose in our bloodstream takes over in terms of supplying energy to the cells. Now, what we want is energy coming from a mixture of sources, including fat. And there is a very complicated process called de novo lipogenesis, which is being researched by scientists at the moment. And the idea is that once we have excess glucose in our body from these sugary drinks and other foods, then that interferes with the metabolism of fat and the use of fat for energy. And the idea is that if you have a sugary drink, instead of using fat for energy production, we tend to get more of the energy production coming from glucose, which promotes fat storage. So definitely cut down on the sugary drinks, and also if you have hot drinks with lots of sugars in them, then that's also an easy way for you to reduce the amount of sugar. So this is something that can be achieved gradually over time so that your taste buds can adapt to the lower sugar in hot beverages. Tip number 4, increase your physical activity levels. Now, most of us work, so we spend quite a lot of our day-to-day life or most of the day at work. So it's very important that we try to walk to work or cycle to work if we can. But if we can't do that, then try to walk during breaks from work. So your lunch break and tea breaks, etc. Try and make them physically active. Now, if you don't already, consider using a stand-up desk. Now you can get desks which are sit-down desks, but they also transform up to be stand-up desks, and it's quite amazing how many calories you can use by just standing up doing your work. So stand-up desk, also make sure that you have those physical activity breaks. So in every hour of working, try to make sure that every 20-25 minutes you get up, maybe walk up and down a flight of stairs a couple of times, go out, walk around the block, get some fresh air. Try to do that throughout the day, and that will be counting towards your physical activity levels. Things like parking the car further away is also quite helpful. So if you've got a big car park or a car park that's maybe about a mile walk from your office, consider doing that as an easy way to increase your physical activity. If you get the bus or public transport, get off a stop early and walk the rest of the distance. At home, you can do a number of different activities: gardening, vacuuming, tidying. They all count towards calorie expenditure. The key thing is to try and keep yourself busy and make sure that the tasks, things like the TV and working on the PC or iPad or viewing those things, you leave them to be at set times of the day to be enjoyed as a treat, something that you work up towards, but you try to keep yourself busy. So tip number 5 is to make sure that you start structured exercise. So if you don't do any exercise at the moment, try to pick an activity that you actually enjoy doing, because that's going to make sure that you stay motivated to keep doing that activity. You can do any number of activities. I've got some examples here of activities that you can do, but it's whatever gets you moving, it's whatever that makes you motivated and helps you to enjoy the activity that's going to make sure that you end up doing it for a longer period. Also try and exercise with a partner, because that can increase your motivation as well. When you've got the support of another person, you can often help each other and push each other to get through the days when you don't feel so motivated. Also try and vary the activities that you do, so you're not doing the same thing all the time, and this again will increase your motivation, enjoyment and adherence. And try and mix up the intensity so that you're not just doing always hard sessions, you're mixing light intensity with moderate and heavy intensity. Again, that will get you some really good enjoyment. So there you have it. It's all a balancing act in terms of the amount of calories that we consume in our diet and the quality of those calories as well, and also the amount of energy that we use per day. Now, what we really want to do in this kind of seesaw that we're facing in terms of losing weight and maintaining that weight loss is first to try and use up more energy than we're consuming, and we can manipulate both of these as we've just seen from those 5 tips. That will lead to weight loss, and then the key is to maintain that weight loss for a longer period of time. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Please keep an eye out for more coming soon.